So in 1970, the minimum wage got raised to $2.10 an hour. The average price of a new home in the United States was $17,000. Today, 2022, the minimum wage federally is $7.10 an hour. It's $9.20 in my state of Montana. And the average median home price is $453,000. So let's just stop and think about this for a second. The minimum wage, has, if we round up, we could say it's increased by 4, a little less than that. Okay, so if we're generous, it's increased by 4. Now, let's round some numbers real quick. Instead of $17,000 for a new home in 1970, let's round up to $20,000. And then our home price today is $453,000. We'll round that down to $400,000. Okay, that means the average mortgage price in the United States has increased by over 20 times. But the wage, in theory, has increased almost 4 times that much. So, I don't know if you can tell, but that's a pretty big disconnect. Like as of this year, the fuel prices have gone to up 40% in 1 year. That's a little bit more than transitory. It's kind of funny how Janet Yellen from the Fed and Jerome Powell, they're both saying that inflation was transitory and that none of this stuff mattered. It's all on video. We know that they were lying, but they said it anyways. And now we're bearing the consequences of this. If taxation is theft, inflation is rape. If taxation is theft, inflation is rape. Now, my parents moved to this area, Western Montana, in 1985. They bought a pretty big house, and they paid $40,000 for it, which was the median average price of a new home where I live. Was the average price is $40,000 in 1985. Today, a home like that here is over $400,000. So just in the last 35 years or whatever, since my parents moved here from Eastern Montana, the home price has increased by tenfold, 10 times since 1985. That's insane. Can you think of anything else that increases that fast? I can't. So let's talk about scarcity too. Scarcity, is a tendency for, it ties into supply and demand. Your supply goes down and demand goes up, the price goes up. You get flooded in the market with a product and demand goes down, prices go down. That's just human nature, okay? So there was a book called The Population Bomb, written in the 1960s by, I'm not sure where he was a professor at. I want to say Berkeley, but might be a Eastern school too. But anyways, Paul Ehrlich came out with a book called The Population Bomb. In his book, The Population Bomb, he took the Malthusian, demographic position where we're going to run out of resources and there's going to be collapse and people are all going to die and starve and blah blah blah. Now another thing that he did was Paul Ehrlich, in his thesis of The Population Bomb, also said he took a bet with a conservative economist, and he bet that all commodities would go up in price. Now, the conservative economist, I can't remember his name, that challenged Ehrlich, he made a bet with him for $10 that he let Paul Ehrlich pick any 3 commodities, like 3 metals basically, not necessarily precious metals, but 3 industrial metals. And all 3 of them, when their bet came time, the price dropped. Paul Ehrlich was completely wrong on everything, just like all the progressives always are. So what's this got to do with mortgages and houses? It's all about supply and demand. It's all about supply and demand. We make things more efficiently, we streamline things, we have logistics and shipping that make things more efficient. You know, we even engineer trees. We even engineer fucking trees. So the point being, it is actually, and I've been a carpenter most of my life. I quit high school when I was 15 and became a carpenter in 1995. So houses should be cheaper than ever to own. You could debate property values, but the resources required to build a physical house are always getting cheaper. The reason everything is getting more expensive is entirely due to government. It's all artificially created by regulations. Regulations are what's killing people, whether it's the medical industrial complex, whether it is homelessness, whether, you know, anything. All the corrupt bureaucratic systems that we have that are deteriorating the quality of life of the citizens are directly due to government overreach and unconstitutional power grabs. You know, it should be, my generation is the first American generation that has a lower life expectancy, a lower quality of life, and a lower economic footprint than our parents. That's the opposite of progress.